there, I'm Sarah Kolis. Welcome to the Dressing Up podcast, where we talk about all things bridal dresses and general dressing up topics. I love to encourage women to dress up while expressing their personal style with confidence on how to do so. Visit sarahkolis.com to book a bridal alterations fitting, or even inquire about designing the custom couture bridal gown of your dreams. I am so excited to talk to you about this next topic. Let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. We are in double digits here with the podcast, episode 10. All right, so this is a big deal. We are no longer brand new with this podcast. I'm so excited to have this 10th episode out. And this episode is just going to be 10 top dressing up tips from yours truly. So these aren't exactly bridal tips. They are just for anyone. And I am going to run through these things after I do a little housekeeping first. So a few things, just a reminder as the spring weddings are coming up to make sure to bring your exact shoes to your alterations appointments. Okay, so this would be very important to make sure we get the hem exactly perfect. And you can book your alterations fittings through the website, sarahkolis.com. And there's a lot of information through there. Feel free to reach out with any questions you might have through the inquire page. Another thing, I just got back from the big Sewing and Stitchery Expo in Seattle, Washington, and it was an absolute blast. I have to give just a little bit of information about this expo because it was so much fun. So I taught 3 classes and 2 of them ran twice. So I taught a total of 5 classes, 3 different types. And one would be the Hobby to Hire class, which was fabulous. The Invisible Zippers class. I always say if I'm an expert on anything, it would be invisible zippers. I have completely mastered that task with sewing, and I was able to teach that to lots of women, and it was so much fun. And then the last class I taught was about gown fitting. So all the structures and important tips and tricks to make sure that your high-end couture hand sewn gowns are fitting absolutely perfectly. And it was just so amazing to be able to teach this group of women, and they had so many questions. They were so engaged. Thank you so much if you participated in one of my classes. Thank you so much for listening and for being involved. And I am just so happy to have been able to pass this knowledge on to you. A few other things at the expo was the fun Friday Night Live. That was fabulous. I also bought some amazing supplies and fabrics. I got to chit chat with all my expo friends and other like-minded women. It was so much fun to hear about everyone's sewing projects and getting to see all these new creations in the sewing industry. And it was an absolute blast. So I really hope I can come back next year. And overall, I just really enjoyed the experience. So back on topic, the 10 dressing up tips from Sarah, from me. So I'm going to go 1 through 10, and these are all just things that I have thought up and things that I think about when I'm dressing up myself. And I was trying to think of things that might not be so obvious. Okay, so just general dressing up tips that I see other people make mistakes with, or just some general things that I do to make myself feel even that much better when I'm dressing up. So number 1, we touched on this on podcast episode number 4 with Courtney Opelko, which was fabulous. We talked a lot about this. It was number 1, choose your outfit based on the occasion, but also your comfortability. Now, I'm not necessarily one to dress for comfort. However, dressing for such an occasion, like if I'm going to a party or something, I know I'm always cold. I'm pretty much always cold at every moment of my life, unless I'm taking a hot shower or sitting in the hot tub. So I make sure that when I attend any party whatsoever, even if it's in the heat of July, I always bring a little sweater with me. So just dressing so that you will fully enjoy your full experience at whatever event you're going to. Thinking about if you're going to a party at an outdoor campground, you're not going to wear your super high stiletto heels. So just really putting a little bit of thought into your outfit, not only for what you want to wear, but what would make sense for that particular occasion. Also think about the dress code. If you're attending a wedding, there's going to be a dress code written on the invitation, most likely. The type of event, how long you will be at that event might change what you wear, or maybe how much makeup you put on, or whatever it might be. So just make sure you're thinking through all of those things when you're choosing your outfit. Also, another tip based off of that is I always like to make sure if it's a somewhat big event or something I'm really excited about, to make sure I have all the pieces for my outfit several days in advance. I'll lay it out or put it on a hook on the back of my closet door to make sure I have all of the pieces. Anything that might need to go through the laundry, I will discover those things before it's too late. Number 2, okay, this one you're going to think is kind of funny. Always check your backside. Okay, so check in the mirror. I really hope you have a full length mirror somewhere in your house. If you don't, you really should. And always just turn around and check your backside. I feel like so many people go out into public and they're like, there's things that I'm like, oh gosh, if they just looked in the mirror in the back of their body, they would have known that they forgot to cut the tag on their shirt or that their pants are completely see-through. And I know exactly what underwear they're wearing. Also, like sometimes I do this all the time. I miss a belt loop. I'll put my belt on and I always check my backside, make sure everything's looking good when I missed a belt loop, or is your bra strap showing and you didn't know it? So things like that, it takes literally 2 seconds. So just turn around, check your backside and make sure we're all good back there. Number 3, I say this all the time and it's such a weird one. I know I'm such a weirdo sometimes. Wear clear gel deodorant. I hate white powder deodorant. I really, really don't like it. When I'm altering garments all the time, there's just like a slew of white powder in the underarm area and I have to alter it and it's kind of gross, but also it rubs onto your clothes. The clear gel deodorant that I wear every single day, it never rubs off onto my clothes. Okay, it's awesome. So especially when you're wearing a really fancy dress that would need dry cleaned if you decided you wanted to clean it. If you wear your clear gel deodorant and skip the powder, less likely to get your dress dirty and less likely that you'll need to have it dry cleaned. All right, so number 4, check the car mirror before walking into your event. So this one I do all the time. I get all dressed up, I'm looking good, check the mirror, check the backside, everything. I have, all of my accessories on, everything's looking amazing. I walk out the door, everything's great. But right before I walk into my event, so I'm getting out of the car, I always just check the mirror, in my car just to make sure there's nothing in my teeth, that my makeup's not running and I need to just like do a little smudge, anything like that. I will discover in the car mirror before I walk in, or maybe I have like a piece of dandruff in my hair or something. But I just like to, use the mirror while it's there right before I walk into an event so I know I can feel good and know I look good. Number 5, wearing perfume. So I'm talking about the real stuff, like not your body spray that's going to smell good for like 2 minutes and then dry up. Like a real perfume, I think is a really awesome thing to have in your closet. The real stuff will last and you will still smell like that perfume several hours later. And then also just careful about where you spray it. I always naturally spray it just like on my wrist and rub it together. Maybe I'll put a little on my neck or wherever it might be. You really want to be careful when you have a spray tan on, which is somewhat common for me when I get really dressed up to attend a wedding or something like that. If you put the perfume straight on your skin, you risk that spray tan rubbing off quicker. Okay, so maybe just spray it on your clothes or something like that. Or I've even done just like the lower part of my palms just to like get a little bit in there. So keep those things in mind. Also, if you have just like a little bottle of your perfume that you could bring with you and just stick in your purse, that would be great too. And when you're shopping for a perfume, keep in mind the type of events that you like to go to. I just love perfume. So I have several bottles and I will choose my bottle of the day based on what type of event I'm going to. So if it's like a super cute, girly bridal shower, I'm going to wear my more floral scent. And then if I'm going out to a fancy dinner at night with my husband, I might do a more mature, serious scent for that occasion. Okay, I will someday do a whole podcast episode on proper undergarments because I feel so strongly about this topic. I'm going to touch on it here. So Spanx. All girls love Spanx right now. Super uncomfortable, yes. Make sure you're not buying your Spanx too tight and make sure that they're not too sticky either. What I mean by sticky is that your clothes are like clinging to the Spanx, and when you're moving around in your outfit, it like starts to pull in weird places simply because your Spanx are sticking too much. So I love Spanx and I will definitely wear Spanx if I'm not wearing something else, but just be careful with the type of Spanx that you're wearing. And again, make sure you check your backside, make sure everything's laying how it should. Also, don't be afraid of slips and nylons. everyone always, young girls, like my age and younger, everyone is always assuming that slips and nylons are for like older women, or like that's so back in the day, that's so out, like no one wears those things anymore. I wear those things all the time. I know I have an old school way of thinking, but I truly do believe in a good slip and a good pair of nylons. So the slips are great if you have not a super tight fitted dress. I will wear a slip underneath. You can get them at Kohl's, is really the only place I know of that you can get in person right now. Just like a good old slip that's not too tight. You just wear underneath your dress so that your dress kind of moves about and doesn't get stuck between your legs, or doesn't like get pulled up or anything when you're walking. Everything just lays perfectly in the skirt part of your dress. And then nylons is like such a good secret weapon. Like everything looks better with nylons on, I swear. So you're talking like your nude color tights that match your skin tone great. It just makes your legs look amazing. I have very pale skin that I don't love. Wearing the nylons will just bring a little color back into my skin and just makes everything look so smooth. So I'm serious. Consider this. Okay. I know it's a little bit of an old school way of thinking, but don't be afraid of the slips and the nylons. They work. Our mothers and grandmothers wore these things for a reason. Number 7, controversial here. Ready? Don't drink colored liquids. Oh my gosh. Now you're like, I got to turn this podcast off. This girl's getting too crazy. When I'm wearing fancy dresses, especially ones I made myself, which is, the only type of dresses I wear. But when I wear fancy dresses, I stick to clear liquids, water, Sprite, white wine, like a vodka soda, something like that. So if I were to spill on myself, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Now, you can drink dark liquids. Just make sure that you are being super, super, super careful. Don't be stupid flinging that drink around, especially when you're on the dance floor of a wedding, especially if you're near the bride dancing on the dance floor at a wedding. Do not carry a drink that has dark liquids in it. You could risk spilling it on her dress and it would be devastating. Okay. So just a little tip. If you're feeling like you could use a little white wine night, then go for it. It's very safe. Number 8, bringing all the necessities. As women, we're so lucky we can carry these wonderful handbags and we can carry things with us. So use that to your advantage. In my purse, I always have the following items. Ready? Write this down. Okay, safety pins, an absolute must. I carry safety pins with me everywhere I go. And you might not need the safety pin, but someone around you might. I get approached constantly at weddings because everyone knows I have safety pins. So I'll get approached by some random people saying, hey, I hear you have some safety pins. They come in handy. They really do. I have a stash of safety pins just sitting in each one of my handbags in my closet, ready to go. I never have to think about putting them in there. They're just always in there. Oil wipes, great for long days. I need them. They're great. Helps keep my makeup looking fresh. Tissues, always a good one. Maybe you don't need to blow your nose, but you might need to dab something if it's spilled on your shirt and you don't have access to a bathroom real quick. You could wipe it off. Lipstick for a quick refresh. Mints are always great after you eat a meal. Have them ready. Also a thing on mints, if you pull out a mint out of your purse, I guarantee you the people around you will want one too. So maybe pack a couple. A small mirror, of course, just double checking you don't have anything in your teeth, your makeup's not smearing. Ladies, if you have your business cards with you, that is a must. Make sure you're always ready to go. I always have business cards in all of my purses. And a mini sewing kit. Well, you know me, I do sewing. So of course, I'm always going to have a mini sewing kit with me. It'd be smart if you did as well. Number 9. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe in this one anymore. Having good posture. Okay. You know, the saying from Annie, you're never fully dressed without a smile. I always think you're never fully dressed without good posture. It makes such a difference when you're wearing your clothes. You look so much more confident. You feel more confident. It's more healthy for you. Again, a little old school way of thinking. Everyone's, always saying like, oh, my mother, told me to always sit up straight. Well, I feel like as a society, we've kind of moved away from that. And I think having good posture just has so many benefits in addition to just purely being a healthy human being. So having good posture is super, super important. All right, number 10. Are you ready? This is the big shebang. Number 10, if you don't feel amazing, change your outfit. Okay. You should feel absolutely amazing in the clothes that you wear every single day. And if you don't, then change something. Don't feel like you have to force yourself out of the house wearing an outfit you don't feel incredible in. You always should feel incredible in what you're wearing. And it is super important because it helps with your overall self-confidence. It helps you feel amazing and feel like you want to show up to this event and have your absolute best time talking to people and being a part of the event. And it is just super important to show up in something that you feel really good in, whatever that might be. Even if it defies the dress code, I give you permission to wear an outfit that you feel absolutely amazing in, because that is the number one most important thing, I believe, with dressing up. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to shoot me an email or fill out the inquiry form on my website. I am so happy to be sharing these tips with you. I have so many more. I dropped it down to my top 10 that I think you might not have otherwise thought of. And again, we have the spring weddings coming up. So I'm so excited and looking forward to working with you. If you are coming to me for your alterations or I'm working with you on your custom couture bridal gown, I'm so excited for these upcoming projects. As always, let me know if you have any questions at all. However, the website does answer quite a few of them. So feel free to browse there, and pretty soon we'll be into the summer weddings as well. Thank you so much for listening. I am so excited for you to be here again, listening to my podcast episode number 10. So exciting. Thank you so much for listening. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode has allowed you to approach the world with greater confidence in your own personal style. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out through email or inquiry form on the website. I hope you are all ready to go and get dressed up. I look forward to sharing more dressing up tips with you in future episodes. See you there.